Good afternoon, and thank you to the High Sheriff for opening the ceremony this afternoon. My name is Iris Bonet. I'm the Albert Pratt Professor of Business and Government and the Academic Dean. A very warm welcome from all of us here at the Kennedy School to the 2019 commencement exercises at Harvard Kennedy School here at Harvard University. We're here today to celebrate the achievements of an extraordinary group of students from all around the world. We now convene families and friends, faculty and staff to honor you, our 2019 graduates. As President Santos said in his commencement address yesterday, you are the hope that carries all of us forward. Your commitment to public service, your brilliant minds, and most of all, as he said yesterday, your empathy to walk in others' shoes and see the world from a different perspective will lift all of us up. Perspective taking, though, something many of you have discussed in your negotiation classes, perspective taking is easier said than done. Too often, we are too focused on our own needs, thus foregoing opportunities for value creation that would provide the greatest benefit to the greatest number. But value creation is what helped President Santos bring peace to Colombia. And it is what is needed today and every day. No haggling over differences, but the true creation of value for all. And this is my hope for you, that you can be value creators who do not just take the pie, as we sometimes call it, the pie as given, but instead ask how to make it bigger. So equipped with your Kennedy School degree, I encourage you to think bigger and feel bigger. Bigger than yourselves, bigger than the group you belong to in race, ethnicity, gender identity, sexual orientation, nationality, religion, or politics, to create a more equal and a more inclusive world. It is now my great pleasure to introduce to you Doug Elmendorf, the Don K. Price Professor of Public Policy and your Dean.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. The temperature in Cambridge today is cool, but we are gathered here with warm hearts on this wonderfully joyous occasion. I had different versions ready depending on what the temperature was like. To the Harvard Kennedy School class of 2019, now graduates of Harvard Kennedy School, congratulations. You have achieved so much during your time here, both in our academic programs and in your other activities, and I hope you are proud of all you have done. Your passion and talents have inspired me and all of the faculty and staff of the Kennedy School, and we're grateful to you for that. I want to offer a particular shout out to Lucila Taksharad, who gave such an amazing speech in Harvard Yard this morning. Lucila, would you stand? Lucila, we are also proud to call you one of our own. I also want to begin by recognizing the families and friends of the class of 2019. Your love and guidance and support have enabled these graduates to find their way here and to thrive here. So to the parents, grandparents, spouses, partners, children, siblings, other family members, and friends of the class of 2019, congratulations to you as well. I hope you are proud of your contributions to this momentous occasion, and I'm delighted that you could be here with us today. Will the members of the class of 2019 please rise and join me in thanking your families and friends? At this morning's ceremony in Harvard Yard, we gathered with graduates and family members and friends from across Harvard University. Now is our chance to celebrate as the Kennedy School community. The students, faculty, staff, families, and friends who are here today come from across the United States and more than 90 other countries. We come with an incredible range of backgrounds and interests and plans for our lives. So what has drawn us together? What unites us? We're united by our commitment to advancing the public interest, to improving public policy and public leadership so people can have safer and freer and more prosperous lives. That commitment can be fulfilled in many ways. It can be fulfilled by working in governments or civil society or the private sector. And many of you in the class of 2019 are headed in each of those directions next. And I know that many of you will work across sectors and move between sectors during the course of your careers. I expect that you will also move between different roles in public leadership over time. At some times, you may be leaders in the standard sense of standing at podiums, chairing meetings, or heading up political tickets. At other times, you will be leaders in less obvious ways. Leadership is not about being in charge in a formal sense, but about using power and influence to accomplish common goals. And people derive power and influence from different sources, from formal authority sometimes, but also from substantive knowledge, insights into people, moral standing, networks of allies, and more. So there are many kinds of public leadership. As you go through your careers and lives, whatever sector you are in and whatever role you are playing, I hope you will feel lucky to have the opportunity to serve others. When George H.W. Bush passed away last year, Barack Obama commented that President Bush's life was, and I quote, "a testament to the notion that public service is a noble, joyous calling," unquote. So I have found it in my life, and so I trust you will find it in yours. With this amazing opportunity for public service comes important responsibility as well. And that responsibility is especially significant for those of us who have the privilege to be part of the Harvard Kennedy School community. The responsibility that rests on all of our shoulders, yours and mine and all the other people who are gathered here, is to be principled and effective in our public service, in our jobs and in the rest of our lives. You may wonder if there is a simple recipe for being a principled and effective public leader. I have to admit, I don't know if there's a very simple, obvious, surefire recipe, but I do believe that certain ingredients are essential. Let me describe the 4 main ingredients in my recipe for principled and effective public leadership. All ingredients that you have at least tasted during your time at the Kennedy School. The first ingredient is a true commitment to serving others rather than ourselves. As the historian Doris Kearns Goodwin said in the Kennedy School's forum this spring, In public service, ambition for self needs to become ambition for the greater good. Too many public leaders in the world today have lost sight of the difference between their personal interests and their communities' and nations' interests. One crucial part of serving others is to be trustworthy. The official code of federal regulations in the United States begins the section on public service with the statement, "Public service is a public trust." The Nolan Principles in the United Kingdom have the same essence, and similar examples exist in many other countries. This public trust is trust we need to earn every day in every job we do by adhering to high moral standards. I do not mean just the minimum legal or regulatory standards, but higher standards of honesty and integrity. Another crucial part of serving others is serving all others, and not just people like ourselves, as Iris has already noted. That means serving people who are different from us in their demographic characteristics, in their ideological views, and in other ways. Moreover, as President Santos said here yesterday, and as Iris mentioned, empathy is the most important value for any public leader. And empathy leads naturally to a particular concern for people who have not had a fair chance to succeed, and therefore who especially deserve our attention. A second main ingredient for principled and effective public leadership is a set of skills that allow us to understand public challenges and overcome them. Some of these skills involve factual knowledge and rigorous analysis based on logic, data, institutional detail, and historical experience. Effective public leaders need to have the knowledge and the analysis they can do themselves, or they need to be able to learn from and ask the right questions of others. Other skills we need involve management and administration, because most public leaders spend much of their careers in large and complex organizations. Still, other key skills are communication, persuasion, and negotiation, which effective public leaders use to understand, serve, and inform people, and to move them forward. And still other needed skills are more personal, the skills of self-understanding and self-discipline. As one thoughtful student of public leadership said to me, you need to lead yourself before you can lead others. You have practiced these skills during your time at the Kennedy School. In class, around the campus, and in field-based learning experiences, you have enhanced skills you came with and developed new ones. But your learning is not done, luckily. Throughout your careers, your intellectual curiosity and your desire to serve will push you to continually build your skills. A third main ingredient for principled and effective public leadership is listening to people that we disagree with, even if those disagreements seem insurmountable. I am not suggesting that you should always compromise or be morally neutral. On the contrary, I believe that public leaders should make moral judgments and stand by them. But I am suggesting that you should be open to the possibility that your judgments do not represent the full truth. And the best way to fumble toward a fuller truth is to try to understand people who have formed different judgments than we have. I have seen again and again in my own life that many people who seem to have the same underlying devotion to fairness and progress that I have, nonetheless evaluate public policies and public leaders very differently than I do. I do not intend to give up my principles, and I find that talking and listening across differences in principles can be hard and frustrating. But I am convinced that building a better world requires public leaders to communicate across such differences. So I continue to work at doing this myself, and I urge you to do so as well. My fourth and final ingredient for principled and effective public leadership is holding ourselves accountable to the standards I have just described and holding other public leaders accountable as well. These standards should be the foundation for our public service. We should adhere to them even when doing so makes it more difficult to establish specific policies or implement specific approaches that we favor, because upholding standards for public leaders is more important in the long run than any specific policies or approaches. Too many leaders abandon those standards in order to remain relevant, as some people say. That abandonment of standards may or may not lead to better outcomes in specific cases, but the cumulative damage to public life can be very large. We also need to hold other public leaders accountable to these standards. In some places, this accountability can be enforced in part through public norms and institutions, including the rule of law, checks and balances between branches and levels of governments, and transparency fostered by a free and vigorous press. Such norms and institutions should be respected and defended wherever possible. But we also need to hold other public leaders accountable through our individual words and deeds, if we have the liberty to do so. Our reaction to other leaders' behavior either encourages that behavior or discourages it. So if we would object when an opponent speaks or acts in a certain way, we should object when an ally does the same thing. And as much as possible, we should object both openly as leaders in the public square and privately as citizens in the voting booth. I do not want to sound unrealistic. Because people disagree, governance unavoidably involves some compromising, and I have been part of much of that in earlier stages of my own career. No leader is perfect. So when public leaders violate our standards, deciding how to respond can be challenging. Moreover, some public leaders occupy positions in which speaking openly about others runs counter to their main responsibilities. But whenever we are inclined to avert our eyes, we should each ask ourselves, if we do not speak up, who will? And if no one speaks up, how do we expect our standards to be upheld? Well, that completes my brief recipe for principled and effective public leadership. An unabridged version is available on request. Your communities, your countries, and our world need you to be principled and effective public leaders. People are counting on you. You should leave here You should go forth from the Kennedy School, despite the challenges in the world, with boundless optimism about the good you can do. You came to the Kennedy School with a deep and abiding commitment to the public interest, and with extraordinary talent and drive that give this commitment real force in the world. You leave the Kennedy School with more skills, honed values, renewed or strengthened passion, friends from around the world, and an enduring home here. Travel safe, stay in touch. Congratulations.
I will introduce the various faculty and program chairs as we proceed. But I want to begin by recognizing several people who do not have speaking parts this afternoon, but who have been indispensable to the smooth functioning of the school throughout the past year. Jenny Wilson, the Executive Dean, Debbie Isaacson, Senior Associate Dean for Degree Programs and Student Affairs, Robin Chapman, the Associate Dean for Diversity, Inclusion and Belonging, Christy Chakovitz, Senior Associate Dean for Alumni Relations and Resource Development, Toko Moyo, Associate Dean for Communications and Public Affairs, Sarah Wald, Senior Policy Advisor and Chief of Staff to the Dean, and three very important colleagues who have been integral to ensuring the smooth functioning of today's events. Laura Recklett, the Registrar, Jane Finfoley, Assistant Director for Student Services, and Amy Davies, Assistant Dean for Student Services and Programs. Thank you, Laura, Jane, and Amy, for all of your work. Thanks also to the Registrar's Office, the Facilities Team, Media Services, Harvard University Dining Services, and our many commencement volunteers for their important contributions to the success of this day. Our Kennedy School ceremony will begin by calling the recipients of joint degrees with other Harvard schools to the stage. These are students who, in addition to receiving an MPP or an MPA ID from the Kennedy School, are also receiving a degree from another Harvard school. Our joint degree candidates have managed to navigate the various hurdles that sometimes separate different parts of Harvard and to obtain degrees from 2 schools. We award these degrees first so that they can make their way, if they so choose, to the other school from which they are receiving a degree. Along with MPP Program Director Eleni Cortes, Archon Fung, Faculty Chair of our joint degree program with Harvard Law School, and Sarah Wald will present the degrees to students also receiving a JD. And then Rob Stavins, Faculty Chair of our joint degree program with Harvard Business School, will present the degrees to those who are also receiving an MBA. I ask you to please hold your applause until the end, when all of the joint degrees have been awarded.
Colleagues and friends, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the Harvard Kennedy School Joint Law and Business Degree Candidates Class of 2019. Candidates, please rise and come to the stage. For the Master in Public Policy degree combined with Harvard Law School, Laura Bloomer. Catherine Marie Cocolet. Imani Franklin. Isabel Linyao Sun. Basil James Kazrin Williams. For the Master in Public Administration in International Development combined with the Harvard Business School, Daniel Gasfriend. Hiroki Hasegawa. Sharon Makava. For the Master in Public Policy combined with Harvard Business School, Shangyan Ban. Catherine Donovan Bodner. Elliot Kathleen Creel. Prathna Desai. Brian Etienne. Caleb Joshua Gale. Daniel Goldberg. Ketty Lee. Maha Aman Malik. Laura Aller. David Enrique Pareja Farfan. Matthew Podolin. Anna Ponting. Chris Rudnicki. Nicholas Cerna. Ned Shell. Michael Philip Silvestri. Nicholas Stephen Simmons. Graham Thomas. Grant Tudor. Daniel Urgelis. Anisha Vashani. Amrita Veer. Justin Warner. Sophie Wyman. Cindy Yang. All joint law and business degrees for the class of 2019 have now been awarded. Congratulations.
All of our students are motivated by a deep love of learning and a commitment to public service. The students who are about to receive the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Political Economy and Government and Doctor of Philosophy in Public Policy have demonstrated a special devotion to scholarship. In addition to completing additional training in both substance and methodology, recipients of the PhD degree must also complete a substantial piece of research that makes an original contribution to knowledge. We are extremely proud of this new generation of scholars, and I'm happy to introduce Professor Robert Stavins, Faculty Chair of PhD Programs, and Nicole Tateoshan, the Program Director, to award the degrees.
Colleagues and friends, it is my great pleasure to present to you the candidates for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Political Economy and Government and for the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Public Policy. Will the candidates please come forward to the stage? For the degree Doctor of Philosophy in Public Policy, Air Force Major Bradley R. DeWeese, whose dissertation is entitled Essays on Judgment and Decision Making. Robert Abraham Holland, whose dissertation is entitled Essays in Development Economics. Ariella Khan Lang, whose dissertation is entitled Essays in Labor Market Inequality. Jennifer Cow, whose dissertation is entitled Essays in the Economics of Health and Innovation. Stephanie Mayerowicz, whose dissertation is entitled Essays in Education and Development Economics. Emily Maurer, whose dissertation is entitled Algorithms and Applied Econometrics in the Digital Economy. Gabriel Turek, whose dissertation is entitled Essays in Development and Public Economics. Danielle Velez Lopez, whose dissertation is entitled Essays in Environmental Economics. Joshua Yardley, whose dissertation is entitled Essays on Technology and Education. In addition, I wish to congratulate candidates for the degree in Political Economy and Government who are not able to attend today. Juan Sebastian Gallen, whose dissertation is entitled Essays on the Political Economy of Latin American Development. Siddharth Yipin George, whose dissertation is entitled Essays in Development Economics. Soren Hen, whose dissertation is entitled Essays on State Building and Economic Development. All the PhD degrees have now been awarded. Congratulations, everyone.
It is now time to award the degrees for Master in Public Administration. Students in our two-year Master in Public Administration program arrive at the Kennedy School with prior work experience and graduate-level training and spend their time here gaining the skills, perspectives, and nuanced understanding they need to be effective leaders in solving public problems. To award the degrees, it is my pleasure to introduce Kesley Hong, Faculty Chair of MPA Programs, and Emma Heffern, the Program Director.
Colleagues and friends, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the Master in Public Administration Class of 2019. Candidates, please rise and come to the stage with your class marshals, Amanda Coleman and Pilar Cuesta. For the degree Master in Public Administration, Tala Al-Jabri. Carmen Alvarez Irarrazabal. Edouard Aubry. Genevieve Bernard Oni. Charles Edward Barrett. Jonathan Barrett. David John Sargent Bates. Abdul Hakim Buhari. Mahesh C.R. Juan Pablo Casaido Montaña. Lillian Irene Carroll. Keith Caton. Alexander Hopke Choi. Daniela Sinali. Joao Gabriel Costa Pinheiro. Zachary Andrew Cotreau. Evanio Arajao. Cassandra Devine. Kai Dittman. Sarah Egozi. Ross Mark Eisenberg. Yuan Fong. Joshua Feller. Kevin John Ferreter. Joe Fu. Benjamin Bauer Funk. Arnaldo Gabaldon. Mitchell Jack Gaynor. Rohit Gowande. Shapri Eunice Jenneret. Ayushi Gumadi. Bing Han. Seth Ulhak. Anthony Raymond Hatala. B. Huang. Philip Roy William Johnston. Daniela Josic. Jennifer Victoria Kamara. Juliana Philippa Worth Karist. Juan Mo Ku. Teo Kun Prasert. Prinya Bal Kovicindachai. Daniel James Kurtenbach. Hudson Leong. Mimi Yinchi Liu. Fang Wei Lo. Harut Samuel Manugian. Bryce Markovich. Megan Marie McCormick. Andre Ramos. Nuriana Mohammed Najib. Marius Mueller. Claire Nick. Akugo Ekene Nama. Jessica Larissa Nunez. Eamon Sean O'Connor. Eva Maria Fernanda Olbers. Chuka Onugu. Simone Paulin. Luis Perez. Deanna Ping. Adilbek Primbetov. Ivan Rahman. Vishnu Rajiv. Pranav Reddy. Stephen Charles Rizzoli. Sarah Robinson. Francisco Rodriguez. Sanjay Sait. Sophia Shiyi Shao. Kirtika Singh. Charles Axel Skold. Peter Sofer. Francis Fang Tan. Francisca Villalobos. Yu Hong Wen. Bin Xie. Sho Yamasaki. Christian Sambaglione. Shen Zhang. And class marshals, Amanda Coleman, and Pilar Cuesta. All Master in Public Administration degrees have now been awarded. Class of 2019, congratulations.
The next degree to be awarded is the Master in Public Policy. Students receiving this degree have completed a rigorous multidisciplinary program requiring the mastery of analytic, management, and political skills, and the development of focused expertise in a particular area of public policy. To award the degrees, I would like to introduce Jack Donahue, Faculty Chair of the MPP program, and Eleni Cortis, Program Director. Again, I ask you to hold your applause until all the MPP degrees have been awarded.
Colleagues and friends, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the Master in Public Policy Class of 2019. Candidates, please rise and come to the stage with your class marshals, Priyanka Kora and Amanda Matos. Arthur Augustello Abal. Carlotta Alfonsi. Sumiko Andrade. Alexander Armlovich. Amitha Arudpragasam. Samuel Atwell. Michael Oslin. Emily Margaret Osabel. Oliver Bartlett Backus. Brett Banker. Sophia Becker. Philip Burkaw. Keldon Bester. Vicus. Arjun Beeson. Caleb Shaw Blankenship. Cole Bosky. Yolanda Gabrielle Body Lodovico. Hugh Boulnois. Caden Hong Bui. Pahua Cha. Ayush Chakravarti. Devashish Chandra. Michelle Chang. Lucian Charland. Sinsen Chen. Arthur T.L. Chung. Brendan Chia. Kyle Connors. Robert Courtney. Jordan Reed D'Amato. Alyssa Lynn Davis. Sagar Deshpande. Rahel Detta. Annie Denolo. Tran Ha Zuong. Ben Edgar. Nathaniel Eisen. Bethany Ellis. Colin Earhart. Sophie Giselle Feldman. Joshua David Ferguson. Coca Fernandez. John Fogarty. Ricardo Patricio Garcia Andarza. Marta Garnello Camaño. Tobias Benjamin Maxwell Garnett. Francisco Manuel Garrido de Sosa. Daniela Graciela Gonzalez Arocha. Jennifer Gottesfeld. Ira Gudha. Essie Hafar. Adam Hawksby. Ida Faye Herzog Vito. Timothy Huang. David Hawthorne. Julie Ann Schumacher Hutchinson. Vishrant Iyer. Elliot James. Sarah Kassir. Kara Kaufman. Jeffrey Harrison Lambert. Chiago Lamello. Grace Lee. Martha Yoonjin Lee. Win Tui Lin. Roy Liu. Myra Moreno Machado. Ryan Kelly Madsen. Mateo Malacarne. Reedy Malhotra. Catherine Alice Marks. Zachary Scott Martinez. Hannah Antonina Masuga. Benjamin Logren McGuire. Michael McIntosh. Thomas Alexander McLaughlin. Micah Catherine Melia. Laura Merrifield. Kaisi Bien Miao. Michael Robert Meeson. John Millock. Daniel Mole Marcolino. Katie Pesci Monroe. Dina Montemorano. Joan Moon. Santiago Muakai. Martina Mueller. Anna Grace Meislowitz. Vidya Neelakantan. Daniel Brent Nelson. Stephanie Nguyen. Vladimir Nikoluk. Dana New. Stefan Norgard. Laura Rose O'Connell. Grace Phillips Ogilvy. Juan Felipe Olano Nieto. Stephen Olander. Jaylan Oymak. Grace McGill Palmer. Melissa Ann Parnagian. Anthony Jiwan Pasqua Jr. Adam Matthew Pastrich. Elizabeth Marshall Fryman Patton. Dylan Pereira. Victor Perez Garcia. James Campbell Pershing. Daniela Phillipson Garcia. Ningzi Piao. Ryan Paul Piranunzi. Ori Pleben. Michael James Post. Yana Helen Polarelski. Jake Rashbass. Neha Rashid. Sofia Mariana Reina Astudillo. Alberto Rincon. Brady Roberts. Mari Robertson. Leticia Rojas. Miles Roman. Aaron Stetson Rosenblum. Guillaume Sajuste de Berg de Escaloupe. Alexandra Cecile Schmidt. Ali Sedgwick. Christopher Andrew Suryak. Mahak Sethi. Anushka Siddiqui. Valentine Sierra. Regan Smurthwaite. Iwe Castro So. Irene Soleiman. Jenny Sun. Reed Southard. Aaron St. Peter. Jeremy Strickland. Frederike Karine Strube. Andrew James Swab. Gabrielle Torini. Camilla Noel Tofik. Corey Mikaira Tahira. Mason Thatcher. Alyssa De Leon Trinidad. Jonathan Trong. Bonnie Sang. Teuda Tarani. Margot Kirsten Van Loon. Gagan Vasir. Elise Vogelai. David Takashi Ota Wallfish. Gabriel Benjamin Walker. Hannah Walker. Amar Warich. Adam Watkins. Charles West. Megan White. Rachel Antoinette Walensky. Jackson Noble Wright. John Daniel Yarbrough. Clarissa Andrea Girovi Verano. Akina Young. Deepra Youssef. Jenny Zhang. Abigail Zhao. Mark Zintek. And class marshals Priyanka Kaura and Amanda Raquel Matos. All Master in Public Policy degrees have now been awarded. Class of 2019, congratulations.
Now we will award the degrees for Master in Public Administration in International Development. The MPIAD program combines advanced training in economics of development with training in politics, institutions, and public management. I'm pleased to introduce two people crucial to the success of this program to award the degrees. Professor Danny Roderick, Faculty Chair of the MPIAD program, and Carol Finney, Program Director.
Colleagues and friends, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the Master in Public Administration in International Development Class of 2019. Candidates, please rise and come to the stage with your class marshals, Angelo Kala and Shira Stites. Kenneth Isaiah Abante. Joao Abreu. Malena Acuna. Giovanni Amador Olvera. Yalda Amini. Jose Luis Basigalupo Vargas. Rodrigo Barajas Aparicio. Daniel Elias Barjum. Nitisha Bezra. Moon Vishwas. Erica Caballero Montoya. Shreya Chatterjee. Rodrigo Cordova Ponce. Pascuala Dominguez Ovalle. Raul Enrique Duarte Gonzalez. Joao Paulo Faria de Araujo. Catherine Emily Firth. Maria Lucia Flores Jimenez. Daisuke Fukuzawa. Joan English Gass. Abhishek Ghosh. Khaled Omar Gura Aguilar. Maria Clara Gianola Villela. Patricio Martin Goldstein. Carla Elizabeth Gonzalez Sens. Yi Gu. Farah Hani. Jennifer Hegarty. Ekaterina Klinova. Nathaniel David Little. Michael Galileo Lopeshalolo. Sayeda Rafayat Mahbub. Kibrewasan Abe Meaza. Camille McQuarr. Yui Miura. Tomas Moati. Jose Francisco Musi Lander. Laura Sofia Olvera Garrido. Isabel Opise. Alok Raj Pandey. Daniela Paz. Marissa Rama. Yaqub Shamali. Da Young Sim. Amik Singh. Shailesh Kumar Singh. Vikram Srinivas. Matangi Swaminathan. Karatilwe Tebe Tidsamse. Jorge Fernando Tudela Pai. Jose Tomas Valente Stein. Kiran Gopal Vaska. Jana Marlon van Rabenau. Alina Wei Shu. Lin Yan Shu. Yizzy Yang. Tlek Zenalayev. And your class marshals, Angelo Paolo Trinidad Kala and Shira Stites. All Master in Public Administration and International Development degrees have now been awarded. Class of 2019, congratulations.
One of the great strengths of our school is the diversity of its student body, both in terms of geographic origins, but also with respect to life experiences and professional backgrounds. Each year, our mid-career MPA program. Each year, our MPA mid-career program welcomes a wonderful group, and a loud one, a wonderful group of students who have already acquired significant professional experience and who are now seeking additional training to better serve their societies. To confer the degree of Master in Public Administration mid-career, it's my pleasure to once again welcome Kesley Hong, Faculty Chair of MPA Programs, and Emma Heffern, Program Director.
Colleagues and friends, it gives me great pleasure to present to you the mid-career Master in Public Administration class of 2019. Candidates, please rise and come to the stage with your class marshals, Magda Matake and Jonathan Slarsek. For the degree Master in Public Administration, Ruhi Abdullah. Fabio Giovanni Abrantes Pezzotti. Mohammed Joma Abu Asakar. Gregory Elias Adams. Rumana Ahmed. Ibrahim Al-Asel. Hassan Mohammed Al-Khalifa. Yusuf Al-Guwaifli. Musa Ali. Abdullah Al-Jeffrey. Nushin Aminuddin. Vikas Anand. Ruben Dario Araiza Galas. Shira Arnon. Arbel Asrakhan. Chang Hyun Beck. Zainab Baimatova. Niha Bonsal. Lena Bansur. Maria Hilda Barceo Lynch. Ricardo Alfredo Batarse Espinoza. Rafael Bellaboni. Chris Blick. Laila Bukhari. Kimberly Ellen Borman. Omar Bukili. Sarah Boyd. Bo Brotman. Sheila Bryant. Ander Caballero Barturen. Clarence Tsai. Gwen Camp. Hagai Karmi. Victor Cesar Boyagen. Cha. Rachel Charrington. Victoria Ying Cha. Taurai Chinmabakovu. Paul Cho Chong. Chi Ching Chung. Yuri Chung. Gabriel Cifuentes. Emma Simino. Megan Costello. Betania Cochino. Charles Siebold Mervyn Darcy Irvin. Andre de Almeida Santos. Amy Dennison. Carl Dolandas. Ariel Delumi. Miguel Dominguez. Allison Noel Dorsey. Mark Alexander Dumba. Hari Bansa Dulal. Gerald F. Durkin, Jr. Zenith Ibrahim. Mareed Ellen Eichten. Nicholas Robert Eidemiller. Nizar El Faki. Baha El Tawil. Camilo Alberto Enciso Venegas. Brian Ing. Laura Cohen Escobar. Ilusion Farias Arguello. Donna Michelle Ford. Kate Fox Lent. Kojo Frempon. Babatunde Mohammed Sani Gado. Simon Gaviria. Chien Geng. Elizabeth Grace Gibbons. Daniel Getzel. Andre Goma de Azevedo. Tohira Musarat Goraya. Rashmi Gowda. Jorge Ignacio Gross Brown. Jonathan Gilman. Sarah Hadar. Melatwork Hailu. Liddy Akizimana. Rahul Harpalani. David Harris. Carrie Ann Harris. Jesmul Hassan. Ryan Hahn. Lindsay Marie Heffernan. Irfan Hemani. Samantha Henry. Ronit Haid. Nicole Hode-Stroh. Ellie Hotovelli. Sein Tet Ong. Emily Meads Hurst. Bernard P. Hosdovic, Jr. Taimi Nagula Etembu. Reem Jafari. Joseph V. James. Brittany Janice. Jia Chen. John Francis Keenan. Rose Catherine Kennedy Townsend. Natasha Jahangir Khan. Rashi Kilnani. Ken Kim. Samuel Sangtae Kim. Sarah Kinney. Byung-Wook Ko. Sabrina Lada. Kimberly Lanala. Gonzalo Andres Leon Oliva. Andre Omar Lewis. Horace Ling. Jamie Lockhart. Georgia Florence Lovell. David Luquago. Victor Lutenko. Patrick Joseph Lynch. Mark Travis Magrino. Muna Mahasin. Ulnor Maherali. Emma Margolin. Dan McCandless. Kevin McGrath. Isaias Medina III. Alejandro Medina Mora Nieto. Nodira Meliboyeva. Efrat Minovitsky Tyne. Edvard D. Mitevsky. Edwin D. H. Mobley. Clarence Moniba. Jake Moore. Amelia Moreno. Karen Mosotti. June Mukoyama. Nund Muchaldani. Nurlan Mustafayev. Claudia Nastaz. Julie Nguyenna. Tadamitsu Nishida. Ada Ojile. Ashley Renee Olds. Hans Olsen. Alain Viclair Ondia Saunu. Will Onkowijaya. Carlos Ortiz Gomez. George Oice. Melvin Praxidis Oyo. Assad Palisho. Geraldine Matthew Pia. Catherine Irene Polovitsky. Patricia Pratt. Young Kian. Shu Ching Yang. Reggie Boycer Ramos. Amelia Reyes. Rachel Richardson. David Richter. Erin Elizabeth Rist. Bruno Rodriguez. Nemesio Royce Garzon. Michal Sarah Rubin. Gideon Rubenstein. Maria Soledad Rueda. Preeti Sahai. Candice Sakamoto Viana. Ohala Dimeji Saludin. Ricardo Sanchez Long. Anna Laura Schmidt. Costanza Shuba Canilia. Adrian Scott. Helena C. Suvi Sepalainen. Thomas Shannon. Fadi Imran Siam. Andres Sierra. Bright Augustine Simons. Doa Sobea. Utsav Sohoni. Hyun Hwa Son. Philip Song. Dennis Sopp. Desmond Christopher Spencer. Ara Stepanian. Joshua Scott Stinson. Bill Stroecker. Vibeke Strom. Eric Stroud. Samar Samir Sukar. Shalimar Sulisto. Brian Michael Swan. Ryan Swan. Andrea Segedi. Laura Tabor. Lucila Hanan Taksharad. Ashley Tan. Ann Tebow. Danielle Toman. Christopher Donald Thompson. Tiffany Thompson. Sarah Norman Torson. Yuri Tokarski. Sebastian Trujillo. Sophie Alice Turnbull. Jakob Uligard. Junita Upadhyay. Brian Valdez. Mega Valentina. Stephen Van Damme. Joseph Van Dam. Juliana Vernaza Lotero. Francis Veronica Del Rosario Victorio. Tobler Vogt. Julia Vu. Robert Sean Whiteside. Georgina Ann Hernandez Yang. Lauren Zabrick. Jing Zhang. Igor Zgrablich. And your class marshals, Magda Matake, and Jonathan Slarsik. All mid-career Master in Public Administration degrees have now been awarded. Class of 2019, congratulations.
It is now my great pleasure to introduce Professor Suzanne Cooper, Academic Dean for Teaching and Curriculum, who will deliver the last word. Following her remarks, the stage party will recess to the luncheon tents, where we look forward to meeting many of you.
It is almost time to bring this ceremony to a close. But first, on behalf of the Harvard Kennedy School's faculty and staff, I want to express once again great appreciation to the families and friends of today's graduates. Without your support, this festive occasion would not be taking place. To our graduates, my colleagues and I are delighted to know that you will forever be members of our Harvard Kennedy School family. We thank all of you for being with us today and for joining in this wonderful celebration of our graduates' many accomplishments. As they prepare to take the next steps in their journeys, we look forward to seeing the many ways in which they will have a positive impact around the world. I know that everyone here joins me in offering congratulations and best wishes to the Harvard Kennedy School, class of 2019.